What is going on YouTube? Hit it back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as the current coin market cap. Specifically in today's episode, I want to continue analyzing the market to figure out exactly where XRP is going to be headed, as well as some of the other altcoins. I am really still focused on the S&P 500. And I do have a few questions that hopefully maybe you guys can answer in the comments down below. I know a lot of my subscribers are a little bit older than me, so I have a few questions about self-employment and maybe where you can move money to invest into your future and accrue as little taxes as possible. Maybe you guys know the answer to that. Definitely make sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, let's jump right into today's episode. Make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up as this does help support the YouTube algorithm. Follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way, if you really have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can DM me over there. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. All right, guys, as you can see, I am on my channel. Yes, actually, 1 day ago, we didn't do too bad. XRP to the moon. 6.6K views is quite a bit. We're at 17.8K subs right now, on our way to 20,000, which is incredible. We'll probably do another giveaway at 20K subs, but we're doing really well. So yesterday's video, we discussed that there was some sort of formation of a massive ascending triangle forming. We discussed this. I saw the comments of you guys referencing this, so I do want to continue to talk about that. But I do before we jump into that, I do want to say again that we're doing a $200 USDT trading bonus giveaway. Link in the description down below if you want to enter. Up to 7 ways to enter. You got to be in it to win it. So definitely make sure to check it out down below. Otherwise, moving on into today's episode, there's a few things I do want to discuss. Specifically, I want to look at the way XRP is trading because the market is definitely taking some very interesting approaches right now. I just want to flash all of the cryptos across the board right now, just so we can get a better understanding of what exactly is going on. So I guess we'll go down the line like this, and I'll move XRP to the second so we can talk about that first. So right now, looking at the S&P 500, I feel like this is a huge play, and it is something we do have to continue discussing. For those of you, this is mainly what we're all really dealing with. Yes, XRP and cryptocurrency is a big factor in how we can accrue money, but at some point you are going to have to sell off your positions and invest into the market at some point. So definitely we got to look at this. We got to analyze the S&P 500 and really figure out where the US economy is moving to, since most of us live here. So as you can see, the S&P 500 seems to be hitting a top. And this worries me the most out of all the other cryptos, because as the S&P 500 is hitting the highest point in the market, what does that mean for our money? What does that mean for our retirement funds? What does that mean for our traditional and Roth IRAs? Where is it going to go? As we've seen in the past, every time we hit this top resistance, we fall. We fall at an incredible rate in price. Just a couple months ago, we dropped at an incredible rate. And once again, this month, we're retesting that same position. We're retesting a high in the market. And now notice, yes, we have in the past, literally just months after months, accrued on the top resistance. And that's something we really have to look into. Notice we were overbought for literally, I'd say 2 years. We were overbought for 2 years and just trended higher and higher and higher. And we continue to make profit off of that. Eventually, we dipped. Is that possible? Of course it is. We could easily start to just trend and move up and continue to crawl on that. It's definitely an opportunity and a possibility. But let's wait till after the election to really figure out whether or not that's what's going to happen. But it is something we really have to sit and consider. We've hit tops like this where we were overbought, and we've broken bearish at an incredible rate. And at the same time, we've also hit levels here, and we've just consolidated on that. So I guess it really depends as to how high we become overbought. You can clearly see we're not as high right now, but the only worrisome thing is this resistance. There is a clear downtrend, a clear reversal that's pushing the price down in regards to a bearish divergence forming on the S&P 500. So how does that affect XRP in any way, shape, or form? As you guys know, back in February, March of 2020, we had a massive spike to the downside within the S&P 500. How did that affect XRP? Well, let's take a look quick. February and March. Where were we in February and March? October, November, December, January, February was right here. We started off at 28 cents. By the end of March, we were down to 14 cents. Correlation isn't always causation, but we do have to play out our options. Is that something of familiarity? We do have to look at that. So it's interesting. Where's the market headed? What are we going to do? Looking at the MACD on XRP's weekly, we can see it looks like we're trying to bottom out and reverse up. It really does. We may see a small, long-term, or I'd say moderate-term investment opportunity as the market starts to correct back higher. The last time we got rejected, we hit overbought on the weekly, but we were retesting a massive moving average on the weekly chart for XRP, which we have not hit in a very long time. So it looks like we're destined to approach that once again. So that does open us opportunities to a more moderate to long-term approach of capitalizing off of these movements. Now, moving into the daily aspect of things, this becomes the hardest, I'd say, for me recently to try to really figure out where the markets are going. Is it a resistance here? Is it a downtrend here? It's really difficult to put a marker on it, a resistance, some sort of means of resistance or movement. It's really hard to put trends and analyzing this. We have an uptrend here that broke bearish, but is it more like this or is it down here? That doesn't work. So it could be something along the lines of this. Very possible, but we broke through that. So now we are looking at resistances, but notice this is new territory for us. We really have not broken above here in a very long time. So it's hard to generally get an assumption as to where we should be buying in and where we should be selling off. Are we hitting resistances? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say there is a horizontal resistance right kind of where we're currently trading. We have resistances here. We bottomed off here. We have supports here. I'd say we're hitting a fairly strong resistance as we speak. But with proper volume, we could be able to break bullish. It's hard really right now to pin XRP as to whether or not it wants to break up. We are definitely hitting some sort of means right here. And what does that allow us to do? It tells us we got to look at other things. Obviously, though, if you guys are new and haven't yet signed up for Bityard, it does help support the channel. I highly recommend checking it out. Link in the description down below. This is where I've been leverage trading XRP and capitalizing off of movements. As you can see, I have XRP pulled up right here. And I have been tracking some sort of ascending symmetrical triangle forming as well on Bityard. So if you want to take advantage of that and get ready to capitalize off the big pop that is coming for the market, make sure to check out the link in the description down below. They also offer a demo account, which is incredible as well, with $100,000 to really play around with and test your skills. So definitely make sure to check out Bityard. I highly recommend it. Huge shout out for the hundreds of people that have already signed up. Link in the description down below. Check it out. But otherwise, it also is how we support the channel and how we can support these giveaways. Otherwise, moving back into the markets to discuss what it is I'm referring to, Litecoin. Litecoin's hitting a resistance right now. So if we use Litecoin as a means of movement and how we can make money off of this, this is hitting a resistance. It's moving average. It looks like it wants to correct lower. So when you now throw Litecoin into the mix, it looks like it wants to reject lower. There's some sort of descending fractal forming here. The MACD looks extremely interesting as it is also in a bearish play right now. We had a bearish cross and we're trading below our moving average. And you can see we get rejected from this over and over and over again. It does look like we have smaller and smaller bumps. We could have an even smaller one. We could actually move up to $56 before we correct lower. But it's definitely a very interesting time for the markets right now, and it is definitely a very interesting means of capitalizing off these movements. Looking at Bitcoin on its daily, it looks like we're about to retest overbought. We've broken now into a big channel that's forming right here. There is some sort of uptrend, but to give us a long-term approach to things, this is what we're looking at. We're fairly high up. We look pretty good, to be honest. We haven't really hit up to 11,000 in quite a long time. So the markets do look good. I mean, if you ask me, to close this year, I mean, granted, we were as low as $3,900 in the beginning of this year, mid this year. Now we're all the way up to 11. So there was definitely some huge profits to be taken off this market. But are we in a high point right now? I mean, down here, we were retesting oversold on the weekly. Now we're all the way up to 60 on the weekly RSI. It's an interesting play. We really have to look at everything. There's a clear resistance that we're trending right now. We're breaking outside. We're starting some new territory. There's no really pattern to trend with. It's very hard to make movements off of markets when we don't have trends to draw out. So we really have to, understand where is the market's going to form? How are we capitalizing off of this? Where are we looking? Is it an uptrend? Is it resistance? That's the hardest part, is analyzing and finding these markets. It looks like there's some sort of symmetrical triangle that we broke bullish from. It looks like we're trending here. I do think we're going to head up higher, but that's why I'm really throwing my focus into the stock market, the S&P 500. How are we going to start trending right now? Are we going to continue to head up higher, or are we going to start to drop? I really need to see whether or not we break this bearish correction right here. Are we going to break above here, or are we going to reject and fall lower? Really is based off of the way the S&P 500 is for this short-term immediate movement. That's what I'm paying most attention to. Same thing goes with Ethereum. Ethereum breaking bullish out of its MACD right here, out of its bearish fractal. Potentially a bullish cross on the moving averages here, and we're starting to break bullish. The hardest part is there's really no trends to follow. If you guys have some, obviously send me an email at CryptoTVOfficial or CryptoTVOfficial@gmail.com. That's the only one, the only legit one. But otherwise, it's hard to capitalize off this. It's hard to figure out where the markets are moving to. And with that wrap and that understanding as to what's coming for the future, definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I mean, we do have resistance here. The other cryptos look very interesting. We're not necessarily seeing a bigger overall picture and pattern, and that's the most important thing to these markets. Otherwise, guys, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, as this does help support the YouTube algorithm. Follow me on Twitter, CryptoTVOfficial, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.